Hello. How's it going, man?
I'm good, Glizzy. How are you?
Pretty good. We are live, and we are excited to start destroying with the new information from our new sensei.
New
Our
sensei.
new sensei.
Damn, I like that.
No problem.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up your stream so I can watch from your perspective.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, pleasure to meet you. You can call me Toby.
Toby. All right. Perfect. Sensei Toby.
Sensei Toby, as
Sensei
you
Toby.
please. So I guess the thing that I want to figure out with you is what's your goal with coaching? Why did you want coaching?
Here's what we're doing, man. We are
Mm-hmm.
legit. We are legit going to Challenger. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're legit.
Yes.
We're gonna defeat all the enemies. We're gonna make it to Challenger, and we're gonna have fun along the way. Those are the goals.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna be
Guess.
here for as long as it takes.
Uh-huh.
I have infinite time. I have infinite work ethic. So let's
Uh-huh.
do it.
Why Challenger? What's the inspiration?
Um. So if you don't mind me telling you a little bit about myself,
Go for it.
when I was but a wee babe, I was representing the United States in karate.
Oh, cool.
I was doing that on a national level, and it was just like, this is what I'm doing now. And I would have represented the United States in the Olympics if
Hmm.
I had to run away from home for unrelated reasons. My parents wanted to kill me, but anyways,
Okay.
yeah, dab on
Cool.
that, dab on that. Then I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna succeed in the professional world. I made it from fucking working in a bread factory to being like a six-figure data cost analyst. Then coronavirus hit, and they were like,
Yeah.
we're laying off 40% of the oil refinery. So now I'm like, boom. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump into the esports scene. I'm gonna become a challenger level player, and we're gonna have fun. So
Sick.
my inspiration is the meme, the epic meme that we're continuing on in my life of domination of the non-existent enemy. Let's do it.
Holy shit. Okay, dude. I like it. You got your mission statement and everything all ready to
Yes,
go.
yes.
That's awesome, bro. Okay. Cool. So, we spoke previously, and you mentioned you wanted to work on jungle today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Alright, cool. Well then the way I run my sessions usually is I get you to jump into a game. I watch the game live, and then we do a comprehensive review of the game afterwards, and then I give you some, I guess, just things that I would like you to focus on going forward, improve on, keep present in your mind until we meet again and we do a session in the future.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was expecting.
Wow, cool,
So
man. Well, yeah,
I
yep. Keep
I,
going.
I do want to say I'm gonna attempt to put my best foot forward here for you, but I'm aware that in the face of a challenger player such as yourself, my best foot forward will be a disgusting little fetus leg, a disgusting little malnourished fetus leg. So I'll just try it, and we'll hit it off. Let's do it.
It sounds good. I got no judgment. All right, like
All
I've
right.
worked from people like literally last week. I had a guy that I coached who started playing the game like 2 weeks ago. So I've seen it all. Trust me.
All right.
And you seem a lot more experienced than that. So I'm ready to go.
I've been playing this game for 7 years. I've been in bronze for 7 years.
Yo, holy shit!
I've been hard stuck bronze for 7 years, so I'm finally like, let's dig deep and invest the mental headspace to get better. Let's do it.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
I'm glad you identified that it's mental headspace that gets you there.
Yeah. Throw more. All right.
All right.
What do you make of that?
I think I want to start with what do you think about that?
I'm not really certain. Okay, I know this is a bad response, but I straight up have no idea what exactly I did wrong, and that's kind of the point, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
that's fine to not know.
I felt like I was doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of like objective awareness, in terms of like, uh, one thing that I had a problem with was there was a situation where they were just murder balling us, where it was like three guys are showing up in lane, and so I was like,
Yep.
okay, I can't really do anything about that because
Mm.
you're gonna die anyways. So I might as well take dragon or turret or whatever because
Yep.
you're gonna die anyways. Like there's no way you're surviving that.
Yep.
But
100%.
it was just like I don't know. We just kind of started falling behind, and at that point, it was like they have three tanks, and we have Riven, who's kind of a fighter, not really a tank. We have me, who's
Mm-hmm.
another fighter, who's not really a tank. We didn't
Yeah.
have any solid focus on Brand, which I felt like was a big issue because he was dealing big damage. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's very incorrect. I'm looking at is this no, this is gold. It's not showing what the damage is. Never mind. 'Cause Diana got the most gold, which is makes sense because she has
Mm-hmm.
the most CS. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what went wrong. What would you say?
Well, there's no key defining point where, this thing blew open the game or, destroyed the game. And for a game like this, it doesn't matter because the things that I want to focus on with you today is the optimizations you can make in like the first 15 minutes of the game. So you come out ahead, of your opponent with a lead every single time because yeah, we can go into, this happened at Dragon at 22 minutes, and there's a few things that I did write down that I do want to look over, but I don't want to focus on these really small, minute things,
Right.
because it doesn't matter in the future, because the next game's not going to probably involve that, but every single game of League of Legends, the first 15 minutes is, it's usually pretty stock standard. You can have a lot of replicable effects. So that's where you're going to see your most improvement out of us focusing on like 15 minutes and just you and focusing on how you play those 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right, cool. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was firstly, I do like I like Jax. Like I was just watching how the fights were playing out and things like that. I think Jax is really good, and if you like Jax and you're happy to play Jax, I think you continuing to play him and Master Yi as well. I checked out your stream actually before we started. I checked out the VODs of you playing Master Yi, and you look pretty pretty decent on that as well. So, unless you have any other champions you want to play, I think those two are pretty good.
Perfectly okay with pressing Q and then pressing E. This is perfectly okay with
Good, easy. So first, yeah, those champions are good. Now I want to just talk about how you were kiting camps to start it off, and how you're clearing your camps. I'm gonna share my screen in a second and show you my perspective
that. Okay.
of how I kite camps and minimize damage. And then we can look at your VOD. First, what's your thoughts on you go control ward health pot? Why do you do that?
The reason was to ward the river for the like bronze level invade because sometimes that happens. And I didn't want them. I'm not married to it. It's just just to ward the river in general.
Okay. If that's the only reason you're doing it,
Yeah.
I think health pot refillable pot is better.
Okay.
Because if you're really afraid of getting invaded, what I'd recommend you do is this is what happens in all like high elo games. If you're worried about them invading your blue, for example, you sit in this bush, and as soon as you see them, you just drop a ward and you run.
Okay.
But if you don't see them, you can just go clear. And it's the same for here. It's like you sit here. If you see them walking up, you can instantly run. There's no danger in you. You are like your own ward in the early game.
Right.
Let's pick up refill pots. Alright, so in that game you started blue and you leveled W first. I know you mentioned that you should have leveled E.
Yeah, that was a mess up.
Yeah, that's all good. The one thing that I really wanted to just focus on is you were talking about how you wanted to invade and do all these creative things, but you were taking too much damage while you were fighting your camps because
Right.
you just weren't killing them appropriately.
Okay.
So, a common rule of thumb I like to apply on all my champions is I do 3 auto attacks and then I step back. And 3 auto attacks and step back. And it's just kiting your camps, so dragging them around to reduce the amount of damage you're taking. Because when you were doing it, we'll check it in the VOD, but you were just standing here taking, full damage.
Right.
And you just got really low really early on. So, if you got invaded, you would have died. And your potential to invade and gank and skirmish was all just reduced by, your health pool and
Right.
you having to use all your smites and your 1 health pot you had. So, like, I'm just going to demonstrate, like, killing blue buff. So, it's like, that's 3 autos, step back. 1, 2, 3, step back. 1, 2, 3, step back. Oh, with the W, you can actually do 4. But 3 normal autos. 1, 2, 3, 4, and step back. And we can just smite this.
So does that slow his attack, or what is that? Why does that work?
Stepping back?
Yeah, does that slow his, like how does that...
So, if you while you're hitting it, basically he will just get an extra hit off. How do I explain it? When you auto attack twice, the camp will get 1 hit in. But if you auto attack 3 times, on your 4th auto attack, he would get an auto attack trade. But if you do 1, 2, 3 and step back, you're resetting his auto attack timer.
Okay.
So instead of him getting an attack every 2 hits, he's getting only 1 attack every 3 hits.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're just effectively reducing the amount of attacks he gets off.
Right.
And that's the same for all camps, like Gromp. 3, step back. 1, 2, we'll use either. Step back. You can't really kite Gromp as well, because it'll start to reset. But I've already reduced my damage effectively on the first few auto attacks.
Right.
And this is just something that I want you to apply in every single camp, because my health right now is like pretty decent. At this point, you were I think you were like half HP or something.
Yeah.
So it just shows like the difference. And also, I did this wrong, but taking wolves as jacks, always take the little ones first, because you're a single target damage champion. Just
Okay.
take the little ones and then focus the big one. Okay, yeah, so that's I guess what I wanted to talk about jungle camp kiting. I don't need to clear more camps to explain it.
Right.
But if you go and look at any single Jack's Jungle video on YouTube from like someone who's Diamond 1, Masters, Grandmasters, Challenger, you will see them kiting every single camp. And so if you ever need to, I guess, have a refresher on how that's done, I'm going to send you some YouTube channels that I like to watch.
Okay.
But if you ever need a refresher on how to like do it, especially as jacks, like there's nuances to every single champion, but like the common 3 auto attack step back is universal across champions. So yeah, I'll send you some videos after, and you can like look over it and have a look.
Okay.
But that is the rule of thumb, and that's the best way to clear camps. The next thing that I wanted to check, I'm gonna pull up my notepad. Is now your level 1 game plan. So in this game, you started blue, and you had Riven top into. Actually, let's get your VOD up open now.
All right.
So it would be much easier to explain from your side. Okay, I'm gonna open up your stream again.
Is it possible for you to play the stream while on stream? That's crazy.
Play
a stream that's currently going on? Is that possible?
Oh, can you do that?
Can I do that? Who can do
Yeah,
that?
I think so. Well, you can share to me your perspective. Like you can share League of Legends, and then they can see you sharing that.
I would need to download the replayer. Okay. Right.
Yep,
Okay. I'm
shouldn't take
downloading.
too long.
Yeah, I got it. All right. All right. It's exciting. I've seen people kite. I sound like such a child right now. I've seen people kite cans before, but I've never done it
Yeah,
myself.
definitely. It takes a few games to get used to it. So just like going into your next games, like just stay mentally focused on it, and you should be fine.
All right. This is their perspective.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so there you are.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So let's just pause and let's talk about level 1 game plan.
Okay.
So you've got Ash locks into Ezreal Brand. So if we think about it, Ash locks are a double ranged matchup, which and so are Ezreal Brand. So it's very 50-50. It's a skill matchup, and it's really dependent on who the better player is. You've got Syndra into Diana, where Syndra is like a heavy bully champ level 1, and in the early game, so she's probably going to be able to push up against Diana and take good trades. Your Jax into Volibear, which because you took Ignite, you win level 1. I mean, levels 1 to 3, even levels 1 to 5, really hard, just based off your raw stats and your champions. And then Riven into Set. Normally, this should be not too bad for Set, but he got shit on this game and he took Ignite, so he fell really far behind. So, what I want you to think about when you're pathing is I think in this game, because Riven and Set are both melee matchups, and you're playing Jax, he can kind of just walk up and stun someone, right? I think it is really, really easy for you to punish this double melee matchup top lane. That's what I would be focusing on, trying to snowball your Riven and really, really focus on just getting one lane snowballing as well as getting yourself farmed up, because you are also in this game like one of the primary carries. Your Jax. If you get good CS and you get good good farm and good jungle kills, you are going to be able to carry this game. So you need to also think about not skipping camps to support your team, because in this game, you are more important than your teammates. Obviously, if there's like a fight going on, you go. But we will see as we go through this VOD, there was times where you skipped camps to go do like a 50-50 gank that maybe works, maybe doesn't work. And in actuality, you just killing a camp would have been just much more valuable to you.
Right. Okay.
Okay, cool. So my suggestion for this game is you are focusing on invading Volibear, which is like, it makes sense. It's good for your champion, but I think the better option is you can gank top. So I would have started red buff. I would have done Wolves, Blue, and Gromp. You put all of those camps on cooldown, and then that gives you now the opportunity to. You have three options. You can go top from that position. You can go to Scuttle if there's no action happening, or you can go to mid if the mid lane is taking good trades, like your Syndra is taking good trades. So just a path like that is a very simple red start to top side. It denies Volibear invading your bot side camps when you show and gank top. And then it allows you to full clear up base and then come to bot side if nothing is happening on the top side. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's just like one of my next points is thinking about how we're level 1 planning and all the factors that go into that. It's a pretty big full on, I guess, concept. And there's, I spoke about Ash and Lux, I spoke about your mid lane, I spoke about Riven, to decide that ganking top is probably the most effective strategy to win this game. And that comes up all the time, and sometimes people don't know. And you're not going to know every single game in every single situation, but that's where I come in, and that's where I have the experience. And something that people I coach do is they will have a game and they don't know what to do, and they'll send me a screenshot of the matchups, and they'll be like, "Hey, Toby, what do I do in this situation? What do you think is the best option?" And like, I don't need to be coaching you to do that. I don't need the session. You just send me like a screenshot and we'll DM. I don't mind. I'll message whenever. But just developing that skill of learning what to do level 1 and what your initial game plan is one of the things that I want you to take away from this session is to independently think about that.
Okay.
And I've written this all down, by the way. So like I'm kind of like word vomiting and talking a lot, but I've written this all down, and this is like a step-by-step thing that we'll be able to work through over the next, week or however you want to continue coaching.
Right. Until we start our own team.
Until we start our Samsung Glizzy Gobblers.
Samsung Glizzy Gobblers. Yeah, we gotta do it.
Okay, cool. So now after this, I just want to break down your first 15 minutes of the game, and I just want to watch through, from your perspective when we talk about every single decision for the first 15 minutes, and that's how I want to end the session.
Okay.
Would you be able to share in Discord your perspective, just so I'm, like stream has a tiny delay.
Oh yeah. I think that's possible, yes. I think we can share our screen on all fronts. Anyone wants a piece of me? Yeah. All right, bada boom.
Okay, cool.
It was running well in the background here.
I got you. All right, so let's watch through. You can 2 times it or whatever until until camp spawn. Actually, just 2 times it until anything interesting happens, really.
4 times kind of hurts your eyes.
Yeah, legit.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna see like the camp kiting in action. Let's see. We'll take note of how much damage you actually take. So you get taken all the way down to like
quarter.
Basically 1/4. So you can already see how much of a difference that makes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't have to say anything else further than that. You understand the concept.
Yeah, and I hit the big wolf as opposed to killing the other 2.
Yeah, the little ones. The little ones would be better to kill as well. Okay, so can you pause here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to get your thought process on like you want to invade Volibear here, right?
Right. So I was thinking Volibear would start blue and he would finish. Okay. He would do his wolves. He'd come around and he'd be at Raptors, and I'd meet him right here while he was doing red. That was the idea.
Okay.
It ended up not working out. So when that doesn't work out, what I would usually do is I would head back and Crab has spawned, and then I would go top. Yeah.
Something that I think would just be valuable for you level 1 is if you want to invade and you're set on invading, I feel like you can just walk up to their red level 1, just drop a ward over the wall, and you can tell like if they're starting it or not.
Right.
Because it's really, really rare that the enemy is going to stack as 5 people in a bush. You could just walk up safely to their red buff and drop a ward. Unless they see you, obviously, then they can react.
Right.
But I think in the early game, if you're planning on invading like that, I think you should, definitely just ward.
Okay. Yeah, because I probably wasted time like walking there and yeah.
Yeah. If you knew that he started red, the most effective thing for you to do would have been go to red buff here, and you do red buff and then fight him on bot crab because you have ignite and you want to fight him on bot crab.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Cool. All right. Start the game. So, go check this. So we've effectively that's probably 15 to 20 seconds. That's like, you know, you could have killed your entire red buff in this time.
Yeah.
Just like slight inefficiencies, which will add up over the game.
Yeah.
And these are like the inefficiencies that, like, in a pro game, like, that stuff is like, you know, they're so good at the game that they use that to blow open a game and really punish small inefficiencies like that.
Yeah, like everyone knows how long everything takes to like resets, or they know the timers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you did Raptors, which I think was really inefficient. Instead of doing Raptors here, I felt like you could have done your red buff, and then you could have been walking to this fight.
Okay.
Syndra does a good job of killing Diana, forcing down the TP. And I think here, like, everything goes good for you. Yeah, this is just whatever. You walk up, you drop a ward. So right now you go back and you do your wolves. So this is what I want to pause. I want to pause here. So I want to, I guess, reflect on what Jax's identity as a character is. And like when I say identity, it's like, what's your role? What's your mission in the early game? What are you trying to achieve? And yeah, I'll ask you the question. Like, what are you trying to achieve? Like, what are you doing?
So I'm pretty sure that Jax is an engage in the early game, that you use him in order to jump out from the bush and stunned, and you already have your E running. So by the time you hit the floor, you're already stunned. That's what I think he is.
Sure. So he's like a champion that can get ganks, when they're available. The thing that I was trying to lead to is Jax is a champion that is able to impact the early game when possible, but he also is able to just farm up and get really strong and scale really effectively. And that's the thing that I want you to be thinking of, like, in these moments when Set doesn't really look like an easy gank. He's full health. Riven's coming back to lane. Syndra's basing. And your bot lane's just hitting tower when the enemy bot lane isn't even there. So what your role and what your mission is right now is to get the most efficient amount of farm as possible.
Okay.
And right now, your Gromp has respawned, your Wolves have respawned, and your Red and your Krogs are still up, right?
Yeah.
So if I was you, I would be thinking, okay, we've set up our camps this way, and the Gromp and the Wolves have respawned, which means they give more XP and more gold than the ones on the bot side as well. So you want to be starting your camps at bottom to top, and you want to path downwards. So I would have gone straight to Gromp here, killed Gromp, then killed Wolves, then killed Red, then killed Krogs, put them all on cooldown. You get all your XP, all your gold. This is exactly what Jax wants. Like, he wants levels. He craves gold, and he craves levels. Jax, like, is an insanely good scaling champion, but as soon as he falls below the curve, he's a pretty bad champion, in my opinion. So, your entire mission is when there's no action going on, you need to be maximizing your farming efficiency. And yeah, this is like the key defining moment where I think you fell, like, it's not like you fell behind, but it's like you didn't get ahead, you know? Like,
right.
you could have gained an advantage here. So yeah, we can play from here, but I just want you to be thinking Jax is a farming champion and getting the most farm as possible.
Right.
And if a gank is like I'll point it out because you go for a few, but there's some ganks where you go and it sometimes might work, sometimes might not. It's like 50-50. Like, just taking camps instead is way more effective. So we do walk around here. Diana's like walking up into absolute Narnia, so this is a good game. This is great. So what I would do here now is just stop for me here.
Yeah.
So something that's really important here is you've just killed Diana, the most punishing thing of killing someone is not the fact that they die and your Syndra gets gold. The most punishing thing is that the Diana now loses that minion wave where at Syndra in mid lane. So Syndra's got a big fat minion wave, and she's going to push it into tower. So in all high elo games and all professional games, you as a jungler, after killing Diana, would sit there and hit the minions with Syndra and get it under tower as fast as possible, because then it forces the enemy jungler to either come and catch it or to deny all the minions. And that is the most punishing thing about getting a kill. So denying the minion wave is really important. Like, what you do is you kill Diana and just walk straight into river, and now Syndra is here just like slowly killing the minions. If you just auto each minion like twice, like you auto the casters twice, Syndra can Q them once, they insta die. You auto down the melee minions, and now like this wave would be at tower right now. Diana is still respawning. All those minions are gonna die. I think most of them will die anyway by the time she gets to the tower, but it's also more efficient for Syndra because Syndra can base, buy her items, and then be on the wave at the exact same time as Diana, which gives you pressure.
Okay.
I spoke pretty quick, but does that make sense? Like pushing the wave pretty much when you get a kill.
The fact that we killed her would have been further exacerbated by the fact that these minions died and she took these minions. That's what you're saying, right?
Spot on, 100%.
Okay.
Like, I think like I said a lot and I gave a lot of reasoning, but literally all you need to think is when you get killed, push wave, and that's it. Like,
okay.
Get killed, push wave. Simple as that.
Okay, and those minions go to Syndra, right? Like, so to further her feat as well, right? So I'm not last hitting them.
It's all right for you to like you are effectively spending your time to help her. So if you last hit like 3 of the 6 minions, that's fine. That is totally fine. You shouldn't be afraid to take minions. It's fine. You're just like walking down. This is really good. You take Krugs. I think you base after this. Syndra dies. Syndra has to. Does die. Riven comes down to fight mid. You come over. Riven catches the wave. Good. Raptors is good here. So now you have a decision. Oh, okay. You always died to Raptors. Pause here. So, firstly, if you did kiting, you would have been able to kill those Raptors as well.
Okay.
It's like a small thing, but moments like this will add up, and yeah, if you kited them, you would have been able to clear that camp. And not killing that camp there is actually pretty bad because you don't put it on cooldown. So then you don't get more XP and you don't get more gold from the next respawn.
Right.
So now you're in a position where you have to decide on like what's your game plan. Riven is really strong. Syndra is just Syndra. Syndra's not a carry champ, so she's just kind of like chilling, creating pressure for you mid. Riven's shitting on top lane and really strong. And then you have Ashe Lux, which are like immensely strong at level 6, but they're not level 6 yet.
Right.
So I think the best option for you here is playing for Herald. And I'm pretty sure you do that. And yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, just play it out from here. But the reason I mention it at this time is every time you're basing, I just want you to think like, okay, what's my next step? What's my game plan? And like coming out of base here, you're thinking like, you were talking on stream, you're like, oh, there's a lot of them at Dragon. I'm going to give up Dragon, which was really good. Like that, absolutely perfect decision. Giving up Dragon and going topside here is great. Volibear for some reason doesn't take Dragon, and you're confused by that, and so am I. I have no idea like what that guy's doing. But yeah, your decision here to take Wolves and Blue, you get level 6. Then you can go do Herald easily. This is all like really good. Like this is all good. So when Herald does the wind up hit, you can walk through him as well. Like, and you took like both of the big hits. You would have been on full HP pretty much. This is like Okay, actually, I want you to pause and click back. Go back.
Go back.
Yep, and then play it on 1 speed. So just a small thing you could have done here is after you kill Harold, I'm pretty sure you have a pink ward in your inventory. You could have just jumped over the wall. I think you press it's either O or X to see the inventory. Oh, it shows gold. Maybe press. What did you press to open that up?
O.
Okay, maybe press X now.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I did have a pink. No.
Yeah, if you just jumped over the wall, you'd be fine.
I did have a pink. All right.
Yeah, small. Yeah, I tend not to. I tend to focus on like more, like pedantic, like micro things. Like you should have cooked here, you should have cooked there in like future and like later,
right.
coaching sessions. But I try and focus on like the big picture stuff in my first few sessions. This is all fine. This is whatever. So now, pause here. This is where you had the biggest like decision making. Like this is where you can open this game and crush it, or this is where you can just like keep trundling along and like play the game at whatever pace, just like at a slow pace. And what I really wanted you to identify here is Riven is absolutely just destroying Set. And Riven is going to carry this game if you allow her to. So what you should be thinking right now is, yeah, Riven died, but she's still super strong. You want to be getting to Riven. So right now, you want to kill your camps and make yourself strong, because that's what Jax does. Jax gets strong, takes his camps, and cares about himself. But you also have a Riven, which is going to be able to carry the game. So what you need to be thinking is, okay, I have Herald. How am I going to carry this game? So, from this position, I think you should kill Krogs. You should then kill your Wraiths. And then, you should be able to path up the top. You could probably kill Wolves and Gromp on the way, depending on the position of the wave. And then you should be looking to be heralding top and breaking top. Because you guys are that strong. If you break top, it allows Riven to just start roaming and demolish the game.
Right.
But what we see is, as the game plays out, Riven just kind of sits top for like ages and ages, and she gets pretty much effectively neutralized. Like her lead is slowly like scaled out by Set, because Set has like good base scale. Even if he's like low, it doesn't really. I mean, even if he doesn't have much gold, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And like here, you were talking a lot about how you're surprised that Volibear didn't take Dragon and blah blah blah, which I agree with, but starting Dragon there, just isn't real. It's not your objective. Taking that Dragon is not your objective. It's not how you win the game really quickly. Taking that Dragon honestly slows you down. If you just took your camps, walk top, you're on path to taking top tower. Now that you've taken Dragon, there was a ward, you died. And we can talk about pedantics of like Ashe should have came, Lux should have came, but like moral of the story is it wasn't the most effective decision.
Right.
And then here as well. So another reason I didn't want you to use your Herald, I wanted you to use your Herald for Riven, is because you can free them up. But now you've used Herald with Ashe and Lux versus Ezreal Brand. Ezreal Brand can just clear minion waves for like forever, and you can't actually walk up to this tower even with like a wave and with Herald. Like Brand can just WEU, QU, clear everything. He has really good base stats. It's actually really hard to push against Brand. So focusing the other lanes and just breaking apart the game is way easier than running here, dropping Herald. Because you're Jax, Jax can't do shit into Ezreal Brand. Like, he just, like, Ezreal E's away, Brand stuns you for free. It's really, really hard for you to deal with.
Right. All right. So this was a misuse of Herald. Then this was not the way to use it.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about efficiencies you could have made in your pathing, but I think this is where the biggest setback comes.
Right. I'm pretty sure they get
Uh,
kills from this as well. It's just, yeah.
yeah, Diana gets a big kill onto Ash. Wally Bear gets a kill onto Syndra because for some reason Syndra is in mid. And yeah, this like whole next like 2 to 3 minutes is like really where the game opens up
Right.
for the enemy team.
So I should have capitalized on the fact that that Riven had a better matchup, and then she started winning, and we had Herald, and I just kind of allowed her lead to diminish, and that was on me. All right.
Like obviously it's not all your fault, right? But in this world and in this game, we're probably not gonna play without you ever again. You know, the Riven play. Like,
Right.
we can talk about their mistakes all we want, but we just focus on you.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. This is the mistakes I made. So like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So like after this, the game kind of turns into chaos, and there's like people running everywhere, and you know you're at this point getting all your gold to get Triforce, where at 15 minutes when you got a Herald already, you probably should have Triforce, right?
Right.
So it's like you're behind curve, the game is turning into chaos. Your one fed person your fed Ash is... She's actually alright, but I don't know what happens to her. She kind of just like... She just doesn't step up when she needs to. It's a bit strange. Like, the game is a bit chaotic. And we're at this, like, 15-minute mark where everything after this point is so, like... It's just not replicable for the most part, that it's not, like... It's not effective for us to look over.
Right,
So,
it's already devolved.
Yeah, I do have points though on... I want to talk about builds for Jax. I want to talk about some of your item purchases, and I also want to talk about at 21 minutes 40. That was just something I wanted to point out.
All right. Which first? You want us to go to 2140 first?
Yeah, let's go to 2140.
2140. I'm scared now. Did I do some dumb shit?
No, it's actually a good thing.
Oh,
it's
okay.
around here, yeah.
All right.
So let's go to you. So you can press backspace actually. I must have mistimed it. Yep, here. Let's just watch here on 1x speed. So how many games of Jax have you played?
I'm not sure. I just because I've been playing this game for like 7 years. I have probably like a couple hundred games.
Cool, because I was gonna say, you have pretty good decision making here, and I really like. This is like the shining light of the game for me. In your like, the way you play this next 40 seconds or something. Like Diana walks off, you just walk straight at her, no fear, start beating the shit out of her. Like Volley Bear, you just start beating her up, and so like pause here. This is like a display of your mechanical like understanding, and you understand Jax and where and when you can fight, like just by walking at Diana like that. You did not care. You just start beating her up. You're 0-3 at the point. Like some people would run away. So like that shows you know for the most part what you're doing on Jax, and I want you to like understand that, but also use that to continue improving on Jax, because you have a good foundation, and I just want you to play more Jax and get better and better at him. And then the other thing that I wanted to point out here is your commentary of what was happening in the game was you saying, they're pushing top, I should just, focus on pushing mid. This is like, again, it just shows you've played enough Jax games to understand you going top here does absolutely nothing. Like, you just push mid wave, you fight people that come up to you, and you start pushing down this mid tower. This is like what happened here just exemplifies that you have a good foundation, and this is just something to look to replicate if you can. And any situation like this arises, you should feel confident and comfortable in your like decision making, because everyone was pinging you to come and whatever. You just like stood mid, and that was really good. I really liked that.
Woo! Yay! Yeah.
Yeah, no, the yay moment. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was like the biggest thing from the post 15 I wanted to point out.
Right.
Now let's talk about builds for Jax, and yeah, let's talk about builds. So I was asking, I have a few, since I played professionally, I have a few friends that actually while you were playing, I was messaging and asking them about Jax builds and their thoughts and like what the most effective Jax build would look like at the moment. And I think for jungle Jax, I think Triforce first, as you did, is great. You bought
Treads or steel caps, my bad.
Steel caps this game. I think verse Brand and Diana, I think it could have been more effective for you to buy Merc Treads. Like the magic resist ones.
Right.
I think. But Tabby's like Steel Caps is still like effective this game. I think it's like a 50-50. Like both are good in their own aspects, but I just think because Ezreal was 1 and 7, I think Mercury Treads is better than this game, just because of tenacity as well.
Right.
Reduce SEC. And then yeah, continuing on with the Jax build thing, you built Blade of the Ruined King second. What's your thoughts on Blade of the Ruined King for jungle Jax?
So the idea was that I needed to get sustain because I was like, okay, I need to go in and engage with Riven, and we have like Diana's pretty tanky, but then we also have Set and Volibear. So it was like I need to get something that gives me lifesteal and that I like stay alive for as long as I can. Like and to start, especially because at this point in the game didn't really start turning into like Brand is dominating everything. Everyone was kind of the same, so I was kind of focusing on like, oh, we have 3 tanks. That was the general idea.
Cool. Okay. I think it's like good logic. I think when you thought about getting sustain, I think on jungle Jax, in games like this, there may be an opportunity for you to build things like Sunfire Cape, or actually, this game I think the best item would have been Triforce into Sterix. So, do you ever build Sterix on Jax?
I've never built Sterix. I've seen it before.
Yeah, so I was just looking at a bunch of Chinese and Korean Jaxes.
Okay.
And trying to find inspiration. And they build Triforce and Sterix quite often. And I was trying to think about it. And I think, especially for this game, they have mixed damage. They have both magic damage and AD. And Sterix provides you just flat health. So it applies to both, right?
Right.
And your ultimate gives you magic resist and armor anyway. So I think the reason people are building Sterix at the moment on Jax is his ultimate is a good enough like armor and magic resistance, and Sterix provides that tankiness, but it also provides damage in its base AD scaling.
Right.
So I want you to. I'm not saying this is be all and end all the Jax build for the year, but at the moment, I think Triforce into Sterix may be your best option.
Okay.
But yeah, if there's games where, Blade of the Ruined King is the way to go and it just feels right, absolutely. I think there is a place for Blade of the Ruined King second, but I think Sterix right now is really good.
Okay.
Cool. And then, the last thing in items that I wanted to mention is later into the game you built, it has such a weird name. It's like Chem Punk Chainsaw or something.
Yeah.
Why did you buy that?
I will be dead honest with you. That was a blind anti-tank shot in the dark. That was like, okay. We have 3 people I'm trying to stay alive against, and hopefully our 80. Like it was just like chaos. It was just that's all it was. Yeah.
Okay, so in regards to that, I think I think buying that item just didn't make sense because if you read its passive, if I'm not mistaken, it provides healing reduction, and you don't really need healing reduction versus any of these champions at all.
Right.
So I think just like skipping that and just going straight into Sterix, as I mentioned before, is just more efficient.
Okay.
Um, cool. So those are the things builds that I wanted to talk about. That's all good. I have notes for you in regards to the things that I really wanted to focus on, which I'll mention now is so camp kiting was number one.
Right.
I want you to focus on that all the time. Um, Number two was your level one pathing. I mean your level one planning. So just thinking about where you want to start and why you want to start there. And then level part three is the biggest one, and this is one we're always going to come back to. But it's your pathing and your decision making and your game plan for the first 15 minutes of the game, and those are my three takeaways from the session today. And I'm going to send this to you and send everything that I've spoken about.
Okay.
But yeah, that is my thoughts from today, and I think we've gone for quite a while.
Yeah.
A long time. So yeah, that's me for today. And if there's anything else you wanted to talk about or ask or anything, I'm here.
Okay, I will. I'll jump into it. I'll be working on that. Thank you so much, and I'm excited for you to see the amazing development from this one to the next one. I'm excited.